Hey, beautiful genius. Welcome back to another episode. In this episode, I'm bringing you yet another throwback. This particular interview was something that we did the very first time that I ever visited Sedona, Arizona. It was a surprise birthday trip that Shawal surprised me with out of nowhere for my birthday, a trip to Sedona to go see Gregg Braden, who we'd been students of and just a huge fan of his work for some time. So it was super exciting for me, but it was a magical and memorable trip because it was my very first time to Sedona, Arizona. If you know me, it's my favorite place on earth. But anyhow, we were able to sit down with him and do an interview talking about the power of the subconscious mind. And for those of you who want to achieve new things in your life, how powerful it is to be able to do the work necessary to tap in and reprogram your subconscious mind. So that's what this interview is all about. I hope you enjoy it. Take notes. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. And as always, share with someone who you love and care about. All right. I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Gardner.
I'm Kimberly Denise.
And I'm Gregg Braden.
And here with Gregg Braden, the man, the legend, the myth, and world thought leader, spiritual expert, and scientist. And, you know, I've studied a lot of people. I've studied Bob Proctor, been to plenty of the seminars, Tony Robbins, and I've studied a lot of personal development for a long time. And just your work has been the most impactful for me because the way that you marry science and spirituality with facts just really gives you the knowing rather than belief with doubt. You give the knowing of the concepts, and I really applied it to my life and business. And I just want to first of all tell you thank you. I appreciate you for just taking the time to do this interview with us.
Thank you. Well, you're very welcome, and I'm in good company. I know everyone that you just mentioned, and I'm honored to be in company with my friends and my colleagues. So thank you. And thank you for the work that you're doing. I think it's important work.
Thank you. So our question for our audience is for people who are trying to build a successful business, entrepreneurs, those types of people, how important is it for them to be able to learn how to tap into their subconscious mind effectively? Because I know a lot of people, they think that they might be doing it, or they're out there practicing law of attraction or personal development. They're studying all this stuff, but at the same time, they're not getting the results that they want. And I think it does have something to do with that. I think you could probably elaborate on.
Well, subconscious. This is a topic we could do. We could do an hour, a whole day on this topic. What science now tells us is that from the time that we're born until about the first 3 years of our lives, we are in a brain state that's called essentially hypnagogic trance, very low frequencies in the brain state, and we have not yet developed the filters that help us to discern what's good for us, what's not, what's true for us, what's not. What that means is for those first 3 years, we are sponges for our environment, and if we happen to be blessed with a very conscious parenting and a very conscious environment, that could be a great thing. If we're surrounded with a lot of fearful beliefs and dysfunctional ways of dealing with life, thinking of ourselves, our self-value, our self-worth, those programs are so deeply ingrained at that level that we're often not even conscious of them. From the age of 3 to 7, we continue, and then we also start applying these things in our lives and develop the habits that set the tone for the rest of our lives. So this is the role that the subconscious plays. The good news is when we find patterns that are no longer serving us, and I think all patterns serve us to some degree. So I'm going to say they're right, wrong, good, or bad, but things that may have served us at one time in our lives may no longer serve us. The good news is because we understand subconscious patterning, we can go in and change those patterns, release those patterns. And there are a lot of different techniques to do that, but the key is it can only happen when we are communicating with the subconscious in a language that the subconscious recognizes. So that's the key. You've got to be able to communicate with the subconscious. So what that means is you can have the best of intentions, you can have the greatest ideas for a business and the planet, and you can have the greatest social network and social media anyone has ever seen. And if these programs are saying to you that you're not worthy of the success or the abundance or the benefits that come from this, or that one person can't make a difference, or casting doubt on our ability to be successful in life, that's going to show up in our organizations. It's going to show up in the way we interact with other people, the way we manage other people, the way we think about funding. All of those things is going to show up, and it'll show up in ways that sometimes it's hard for the individual to recognize because it's their subconscious that's doing it. So the way to know if we're being impacted in a way that is not serving us is how are things working, and if we are honoring ourselves in our relationship to the world, then we're probably in this flow. But the second piece of this is the world has changed. It's changing very, very quickly. We've been talking about this in this event. And in the old world, we have been led to believe we're steeped in a story, a scientific story based on separation and conflict. Darwin's ideas, the survival of the strongest. So those ideas also show up in our business and in our relationships and the way we deal with other people and how we solve our problems. The problem with that is that those ideas are based on false assumptions of science, and the best science of the modern world is now showing us the world is based on cooperation and what's called mutual aid. So what that means is in the old way of thinking, we used to go about creating our businesses by asking the question, what can I get from the world that exists? And if the world were based in competition and separation, that would make perfect sense, but it's not. It's based in cooperation and unity, so that means the question has to change. The new question is, what can I give? What can I share? What can I offer? How can I contribute to the world that's emerging? And when we answer that question within the context of really healthy subconscious programming, there's nothing holding us back. I mean, the universe is the limit. The cosmos is the limit. But those two things have to come together. It's the intent. Why are we doing what we are doing? So my experience is people that are out there, and we see this a lot in New Thought and spirituality, and not just in the West. I see it all over the world. Event producers, for example, they see a lot of people are drawn to spiritual events, and they say, "Oh, I can make a lifetime's worth of money there," and they go after it only for the money, and they discount the quality of the event, and they don't honor their audience, and they're not successful, and they wonder why. They say, well, I'm producing a spiritual event, and I have to say, what was your intent? What was your intent as you were creating this, and how did you honor your audience? How did you honor the people that you invited to come here? And when they can answer those questions honestly, it helps them out. So all of these come into play, but I think these are all really important goals and very important principles that we're looking at here is the principle of cooperation versus competition, and recognizing the subconscious programs that serve us now and the ones that may have served us in the past and no longer serve us. So long answer to the short question.
Right. So really, what I took from it was really being clear on why is it that you're doing what you do and having a mission statement behind it. I know I've read The Divine Matrix, The God Code, The Isaiah Effect. I have it all on Audible.
Thank you.
You're
the one that read my book.
Yeah, listen to it on YouTube. Listen to it like 50 times. Had the biggest breakthroughs. I know you just released a new book called Turning Point. Would you tell our audience a little bit more about that book?
And we just talked about it. The turning point, essentially, the world is changing. We're living in a time of extremes. We've got to think and live differently than we ever have in the past to meet the challenges that we're faced with today. And 5,000 years of indigenous wisdom and the best science of the 21st century give us everything we need to do just that. And it's all about cooperation, community, and mutual aid, and how we recognize our relationship to the world, where we are in terms of patterns and cycles, where we've been, what we can expect, and being honest with ourselves about what has changed. And when we honestly recognize the conditions that we're living within, my experience is when the facts are clear, that our choices become obvious. We don't have to be told what to do. You don't need a higher authority saying, do this, do this, do this. You know what to do because you're seeing the reality of the world. That's when we don't understand what's happening, and we're in the fear, and then we give our power away in ways that sometimes we don't even recognize. That's what the new book's about.
Awesome. So what is the best way for our audience right now that's watching this video to get in contact with your work and really dive deep into what you share?
Our work website, www.greggbraden.com, Gregg with two G's, Greggbraden. It means it's not a Gregory. Our books are sold wherever books are sold. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Go to the website, the events are listed on there. We usually booked out about a year and a half, so you can see where we'll be all through 2015, 2016. And I appreciate your work in helping us share this with other people. I look forward to seeing you all. Come say hello to the program.
Absolutely.
All right.
We appreciate you so much, Greg. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you guys on the beaches of the world.
See you soon.
God bless.